Hola a todos. Hello everybody and welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to look at the differences between Spanish from Spain and Spanish from South America or Central America. I'll also give you some tips to help you choose the right dialect to meet your language learning goals. So let's get started. While all dialects share the same basic grammar and vocabulary, there are some differences. These are things like differences in pronunciation, vocabulary, or regional phrases, which can affect your language learning experience. So let's dive in and explore some of these differences. First up, pronunciation. One of the most noticeable differences between dialects is the pronunciation. Some sounds in Spain are pronounced totally differently to the sounds that are pronounced in South America. For example, in Spain, the letter Z, the letter CI, or the letter CE are pronounced like the TH in English, like a th, whereas in South America, it's more like a S sound. So for example, in the word thank you, in Spain, we would have gracias, and in South America, gracias. Gracias, gracias. Another difference comes in the form of vocabulary. The word car in Spain will be translated as coche, but in South America and Central America, you may hear things like carro, auto, automóvil, or the word computer, which in Spain would be el ordenador. But in other parts of the world, you might hear things like la computadora or even el computador. These differences, although they may seem small, can affect your ability to communicate with other native speakers and also your ability to understand them. A third difference would be in the grammar. In English, we can say how are you? And in the past, we also had how art thou. Now, lots of people think that how art thou was just the old way of saying how are you, but those two ways both existed simultaneously. They lived side by side. How art thou was the informal version, and how are you was the formal version, and how are you survived. Now this formal and informal difference still exists in some languages, with Spanish being one of them. So in Spanish, to be formal, like how are you, you would say ¿Cómo está? But if it was the informal, it would be ¿Cómo estás? If you're directing to somebody and you say you, the formal one would be usted, and the informal would be tú. In Spain, you'll only hear usted and tú. Usted formal, tú informal. However, if you go to other parts of the world, you may hear things like vos instead of tú. This is a totally different word for you, and it also has different conjugations, and you may hear it in places like Argentina, Uruguay, or different parts of Central America. So with all these differences, how do you know which dialect to choose? This can be a tough question, and sometimes people lose sleep or put back their studying because they're like, oh, I don't want to use the wrong dialect or don't want to start on the wrong path. There are some key questions to help you. For example, which country are you closer to? If you live in England, you're probably going to travel to Spain more often than any country in South or Central America. If you work for a Spanish-speaking company, which country are they based in? Do you have friends from a particular country, be it Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, Spain? Is your partner from a particular country? Do you like TV shows or the culture from a particular country? These are all questions that will help you decide the right dialect for you. If you're just learning Spanish for a general interest or without a specific purpose in mind, you don't need to think about a particular dialect right now. I started learning Spanish on Duolingo, and that was quite neutral, maybe a bit more towards South American. And then as I got more advanced, I decided to switch my learning to Spanish because I was Spanish from Spain. Because I was moving to Spain, I had friends from there. It was closer to me, it interested me more. So in summary, although it is just one language, there are some differences between dialects in Spanish. Choosing the right dialect depends on your particular situation, where you're going to work, who you're going to speak to, what you're interested in. And by understanding these differences, you'll be well on your way to choosing the correct Spanish dialect. So I hope this video was useful. If it was, please like, share, subscribe, and you can also find more things on my website, www.moyhu.com. Thanks very much. Gracias y adios.